The first part of pre-season, in your eyes, how's it been?
Yeah, it's been good. The boys have attacked it really well. It's been they came in with a really good level of fitness, so that was the really pleasing thing. So we could get straight into footy. But first 4 weeks down, and really good.
You come from the Premiers to a team that's on the up. What were your expectations?
I didn't really have any, to be honest. I'd heard that they ran really well. There was a lot of effort. There was a lot of competitiveness in the players, and that's certainly been the case. So it was more just coming in to observe for a couple of weeks and put together a bit of a program to get them in the best sort of footy shape for post-Christmas, really.
So were you surprised by where they're at?
I was, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by their level of fitness coming in. Certainly our testing and everything like that was great. So, it was a really good thing that we could basically hand the boys over to the coaches to do footy early on. So it was great surprise.
So what's been the main sort of changes? Any sort of shocks for the boys?
I think probably the intensity of the sessions. I would think that's something that I'm really big on, and hopefully picked up over the years. And I reckon that was something that maybe the first couple of sessions it wasn't there, and that's something that we've really addressed. So the fact that every session needs to be a really intense session, and you just can't take a drill off, and that's probably been my main message to the players.
So that's purely driven by you, or does it need to be with some of the senior players as well, or
yeah,
they sit there and sort of rely on you to charge them?
I think it might come from somebody in the first instance, but then it's the whole club philosophy. So coaches, senior players, and it doesn't have to always be senior players, but certainly that's something that I've been really big on for a while, and I reckon the boys have noticed that change.
How early after coming across did you actually officially plan the program and get in touch with the guys?
It was, I think November 1 was the start date, so pretty much from then I helped out with the program. Obviously I had to do 2 weeks of quarantine, and I came out sort of early November, so halfway through that quarantine period.
Was there any contact with any of the boys before that about what to do in between? Or?
No, there was some contact with some staff.
Can you talk us through that part of your repertoire?
Yeah, I guess I think mental resilience is a really important thing for players, and any way that we can sort of try and develop that through surprise sessions, through just taking them out of their comfort zone and making them uncomfortable, but making the players able to live in that discomfort a little bit. It's certainly something that I think will help them long term. So not everything, they live a pretty good life at times. Footballers, in the last couple of years, what we know is that everything changes, and so if we can prepare them in any small way for that, I'm assuming this season isn't going to go according to plan, from anything from COVID to results to whatever, so getting them used to that.
What about, I was just about to say, the Christmas program as well. Can you talk us through what that might look like for some of the guys, and how intense that's going to be? Yeah,
it will be. They've got 3 weeks off, and within, I think it's 4 weeks back, and we're playing our internal, so there's only 4 weeks of training post-Christmas, so it'll be very footy specific. It'll be intense, and the good thing is these guys train in groups, which is fantastic, as good as any group I've worked with in terms of their ability to train in groups of 5, 6, 7, 8. So it allows us to do a lot more footy stuff. So we want to keep that going. Certainly not take the foot off the pedal.
Darren, is there? I know you're only just getting your feet under the desk with the players, but are there a couple of bodies or way guys train in the first couple of weeks where you've gone, oh, that's impressive?
It's hard to know because I didn't see them beforehand, but certainly they're, from a purely running point of view, they're right up there with any of the groups that I've worked with. So it's a credit to the previous staff and their off-season work ethic. Certainly seeing people like Shane McAdam, Wayne Miller, those guys are the ones that excite me because they're natural footballers, and the Crows fans haven't been able to see them too much. So getting those guys up and going like they are is exciting. Getting Matty Crouch up and running is going to be exciting. So yeah, they're the ones that excite me the most, the footballers, I guess.
And Bogarty looks like he's in pretty rip-roaring shape from an outsider anyway.
Yeah, he's done everything that we've asked of him and more. So yeah, he's all set, I'm sure, to attack the second part of pre-season like he has the first part, and hopefully the results will follow that.
And have you copped any messages from the port? I know you had a close relationship there. Has anyone said, good luck, but not really.
Yeah, plenty of them. I still get on pretty well with the Port guys, and yeah, so I look forward to a bit of friendly rivalry for sure.
Mate, Miller in particular, you seem like you said he's got so much raw talent. Can't wait to see what he can do.
Yep.
What do you think he could become? What do you think you've got in front of you to work with?
Yeah, it's he's been out for 2 years, so he's been 2 main training sessions he's completed now. I wouldn't want to put any sort of limits on him, but I remember being here when he was drafted and seeing his early football, and it was phenomenal. So, yeah, we're looking forward to having him back on track. I don't think the expectation should be too much on him in the first half of the season while he's finding his feet again. But certainly we've got high hopes that he'll get back to the level that he was, a couple of years ago.
In a role like yours, how long does it actually take once you get your feet under the desk to actually get your head around the injury history of 44 players?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's probably 3 or 4 months, and fortunately we've got some really good staff here that I trust completely. So they're feeding in the information, and I'm just letting them do their jobs, I guess. But it's more the relationship building with the players. That'll take 3 or 4 months before they get used to me and I get used to them, and I'm able to chat to them a bit more openly. So yeah, I would say 3 or 4 months.
A couple of trips to Dubai with Port. I know you like your heat training. Has that been something that's you every time there's a 40-degree day coming up, you move the session to that time?
Just move it a little bit later, and yeah, absolutely. So no, look, those trips are long gone, unfortunately, because of COVID and soft caps and all that sort of stuff. But fortunately, we've got pretty good conditions here for that sort of training for sure.
Is that something though that you will look to?
Yep. Yeah, within reason. We certainly won't avoid the heat. Put it that way.
Yeah,
for sure.
At some of the older boys, probably Tex and Sloaney. Sloaney has said that he's probably as good as he's been for a long time. How's he looking from your eyes?
Yeah, really good. Tex has been at every session, but I think he might have missed one Saturday session. So he's looking really good, and Sloaney as well has done most of the stuff prior to when the 5-year plus guys had to be here. So they're in really good condition, and the benefit of that is purely that Nixie and the coaches can get them for football, and that's, they've got a specific game plan that they want to implement, and my job is to give them as many players as possible, and certainly Tex and Rory have put themselves in the best shape to give Nixie what he wants at training.
Is that one of the things, Darren? You obviously drive a lot of the fitness stuff, but you need the players to lead from the front to drive the other players. There's probably only so much you can do, and then the players have to do it themselves type thing. Yeah,
certainly one thing that I learned in the last 12 months with the Ds is that the players very much run the program, and we're there to guide them, but the most successful programs are player-led and player-dictated, and that's certainly what we're aiming to do here.
But I know you'd have people get on referring to the demons, but is that what you saw a lot? Was it unbelievably player-driven?
Yeah, certainly from the first year to the second year that I was there, the players really took the program and took the standards and even the intensity of training. The leadership group there was a really well educated group, and they knew their group really well, and obviously we saw the results. But I'm looking forward to the same output here from the leaders here. We haven't sort of put the leadership group together yet, but I'm looking forward to being involved in that and helping them and guiding them, I guess.
You've had some amazing life experience. Where did that Melbourne Premiership rate?
Yeah, it was up there. I think, because of the year that we had prior to that, being up in the hub for 100 odd days, whatever it was, and being stopped for 3 months, the hardship that Melbourne as a city went through, it really was up there for me in terms of career and personal, because I had good relationships with the players, and one of my best mates, Greg Stafford's over there, and so to share that with him was good, was exciting. But hopefully looking forward to doing the same thing here.